Hey everyone, and welcome to Robbie's Backstage Bants. Welcome back. This is the first one of 2025. That's how busy I've been recently. I've got a cracking guest for you today. He's over there. You can see him. I've got the wonderful Josh St. Clair. How you doing, Josh?
Hey Robbie, yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. We've had some nice weather, but I don't know where about you, but where I am now, it's gotten cold again.
It's weird, isn't it? I feel like if you're in the sun, it's fine. As soon as
Yeah,
the sun's gone or you're in any form of cloud, it's freezing.
yeah,
And there
that's
isn't
it.
really like a middle ground. So you're currently like you're balancing this, it's too hot and then it's too cold. And do I pack a jumper and do I bring a bag to put the jumper in case I have to take it off? And
Exactly that. That's the weather we're living through right now. So if you don't know Josh, Josh is currently out on UK tour of Ghost, the musical, aren't you?
yeah, I know,
You
nearly
are
finished as well. So
nearly
it's
finished. You're
all
almost there.
right.
Final stretch as you're nearly there.
Yeah.
So how's that been? How's Ghost going? How's it going?
Uh on the it's a very complicated question. No,
Yeah.
on the whole, really good fun. The role is massively challenging. Like it's probably close enough the hardest thing that I've ever done on stage. I mean, I've covered some big roles, but I've never played one in my own right. So to do something and do it consistently 8 times a week, like that has come with its own lessons and challenges along the way and having to figure stuff out and stuff like that. And then on top of the show, you've also got the challenge of being on tour. You're
Yeah.
changing venues every week. You change where you sleep every week, where your nearest supermarket is, where your nearest gym is, where your nearest place is to get a decent cup of coffee, because I love coffee.
Yeah.
Um, and all these things that like are constantly changing. So tour is hard. And I definitely don't think it's for people who are used to home comforts. But
No.
ultimately, to take this show and play this part and take it around the country and tell the story to lots of different audiences is very rewarding.
I'm glad. No, yeah. Tour always sounds like it is difficult, but you're getting there. It's nearly over. You're nearly through.
I
Um,
feel like we've made it through the hardest part, that's for sure.
yeah, that's it. And the final few weeks, you'll be sort of relishing the time that you've got left with it, which is really
Oh yeah,
nice.
I think I've got like 19 shows or something like that. It's not a
Wow.
lot. So it really is that like final countdown feeling of just making the most of every show and being present
Absolutely.
with my like fellow actors on stage and enjoying it really.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Now let's strip it right back. Let's
Okay, go on.
think well back. So what is the journey of you as a performer? You probably get this question all the time. How did this happen? How did you get into this?
Um it's I guess my route is relatively like conventional. I mean, first of all, I was introduced to movie musicals by my grandma. Like whenever I used to stay with her, she used to put
Yeah.
on either like Mary Poppins or Oliver or Bedknobs and Broomsticks. So that was kind of my introduction to
Wow.
musicals. And then my mum and dad like enjoyed a trip to the theater. Like I was very lucky. Me and my brother got taken quite a lot. That was like our Christmas present sometimes, like to go see
Nice.
whatever the big show was. Like we saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang at the Palladium and stuff like that. And then I was also just a kid with a lot of energy, and I think my mum was like, "We need to do something about this."
Yeah.
So I got involved in a stagecoach, did that for a few years, then had that awkward teenage phase where you're like, "This isn't very cool, so I'm not going to do this anymore." And then I wanted to be a tennis player, and then I wanted to be a lawyer. But I also think it all kind of like it was always still there. Like it was just lingering in the background, ready to kind of come
Absolutely.
back into my life again.
Yeah.
Um, and then I auditioned for drama school. So yeah, I think I made the decision to go for it when I was in drums in sixth form, sorry, and then
Mm.
went for drama school and actually fell flat on my face. I didn't get anywhere. Um, Literally nothing.
It's a
So
tricky
it was
game.
like, oh, that tricky thing of like, so do I have a gap here and try again? What do I do? And then some friends of mine had enrolled in essentially a foundation course.
Yeah, I did a
Back
foundation.
yeah, back in near Cambridge, which is where I'm from. And it was like a 2 year course, which was quite rare in that sense for it
Yeah.
to be 2 years as opposed to one. And it was quite dance heavy. And this is the thing, I never really danced. So I went to this, started my first day there, and they were like, "Here's your ballet shoes." And I was
Mm.
like, "What?" I've never put on a pair of ballet shoes in my life. Okay.
Yeah,
But I think through doing that, the foundation of my dancing got a lot stronger.
absolutely.
The singing got better, the acting just got better with practice, and then I re-auditioned, got into a few places, and then chose to go to Arts Ed. Trained at Arts Ed for three
Fab.
years, and then yeah, I graduated a few years ago now. Um, but yeah, I've just been trying to like make it my thing ever since, and
Well, yeah.
it's not going too bad.
No, you've been out there, you've done stuff, you've been Frozen. That was a time.
Yeah, Frozen was
That
great.
was really good. I'm looking forward to seeing the pro shot whenever that decides to grace the screens.
Yeah,
Um,
I would be, but I'm not in it, so
no, you're
I
not,
don't.
but I
I've
think
got
I saw
friends.
it when you were in it.
I've got friends in it though, so I'll support my
You'll
friends.
watch
I'll
it,
support.
yeah. Bitter, but you'll watch it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Just like
Glory Ride.
just throw stuff at the telly when my
Yeah.
character's on. Like it should have
It
been
should
me.
have been. Yeah. As it should have been, but here we are.
Here we
Um,
are.
bigger and better, bigger and better. Glory Ride was a time that that looked like fun.
Glory Ride was a really special show because I had a bit of an epiphany kind of on Frozen where I knew that I wanted to step away from kind of big, long running commercial theatre and I wanted to try and start making stuff
Yeah.
and being more involved in the creation of a show and the creation of characters and stuff like that. And Glory Ride was kind of the perfect job for me to do that for the first time, really, because it was on quite a small scale, like off West End, small little theatre, cute show, amazing
Yeah.
story. Um, and yeah, my first real experience of being in a rehearsal room and being able to say like, what if we try this or maybe this will work, and oh, I think the character would do this, and having that voice listened to and respected was really cool and really rewarding. And again, similar to Sam, that it's a beast of a role, but the payoff was great, and I really enjoyed telling Gino's story. Yeah,
Yeah. It did look like a lot of fun. I didn't get to see it, but we'll see. I know what you mean though about the whole the commercial shows is very much you stand here and you do this because that's what we're telling you to do.
yeah.
And being able to create something is really special. And now, you've done that and now you're on
But that,
go.
yeah, and the commercial stuff has its place. Like I would never poo-poo that. The
Absolutely.
commercial theatre is the kind of the is like the backbone of
We need it.
our our theatre industry in terms of what brings in the money and what gets audiences excited, especially audiences who maybe don't know about kind of smaller theaters and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So I think commercial theater is amazing and has its
it's very
place.
important.
I just also am quite self-aware and I've done my fair share of it
Yeah, yeah.
and just wanted to see what it was like to maybe be like trying something new. And it's all and what's nice about commercial theater is it's always there
Yeah,
if I
you
want
can
to
always
kind of
do
go
it.
back to it. And Ghost was kind of, to be fair, Ghost is kind of somewhere in the middle. Like it is
Right.
commercial, like, Ghost is a massive title, a massive film.
Yeah.
But equally within that production, although it had been done before, I had a lot of freedom to kind of make my own choices and build my version of Sam and who I thought he was. And yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of your version of Sam, how was coming into that character? I guess there's probably a lot of expectation after seeing the good old Swayze doing that. I guess how did you feel going in and doing that of your own accord?
Um, if I'm honest, I don't really think I realized how big the part was when I said yes.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Like it is brutal. He does not leave the stage really at all. Um, in terms of how I approached it, I'm just I'm of the accord about I will respect Patrick Swayze and obviously his performance is really beautiful in the film and is absolutely an inspiration for my own interpretation of it. But like I'm not Patrick Swayze.
No.
I could never be Patrick Swayze. I'm nowhere near as handsome. I'm nowhere near as like got that like that just charisma that he just had. But I can do my own thing, peppered with bits of inspiration from him. So for me, it was more just like looking at the text and being like, well, what's motivating Sam in this moment, and also having that real like clear difference of who he is when he is alive and whatever and happy in his relationship with Molly and it's all going to plan, and
Yeah.
then who and then what he turns into essentially like once he is dead and he's stuck in this limbo between the living and the afterlife, um, and all the frustrations and the confusion, and then eventually like the acceptance, which leads to him kind of becoming who he was when he was alive again, but as a
Yeah.
ghost. So it was a journey, and I definitely think it took me a while to find it, but with 3 weeks out from the end, I'm really, really proud of the performance that I'm giving now.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, audiences seem to be on the whole enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean it's iconic. The movie is iconic. I'm sure you watched the movie well before you were Ghost. You didn't.
I got cast first, and then
Shh,
I got
um,
cast as Sam, and then I thought I should probably see what
We'll
this
see
is
what's going
about.
on. Yeah,
I remember my mum had the VHS. I remember the front cover. It was like Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze in this bright white silhouette. I
yeah.
really remember that cover, but I never saw
Never saw
it.
it.
I also think it's because I said this before. I think it gets lumped into a bit of people who don't know it think it's almost like a rom com.
They
And
do.
if you don't see oh Ghost, it's like a that rom com era, and
Yeah.
it's not. It's actually a thriller. It's a supernatural thriller with elements of romance in it and comedy as well with like Oda May and that character.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's like it's a thriller movie, and a lot and a love story. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's what people expect of it. But do you think that people come to see the show expecting a certain thing, and do you think what they get is different or with what they're expecting?
I think the show. I mean, I never saw the original production, so I can't comment on it. But I know that our production of it is quite true to the film. The script is very similar to the movie. It has all your iconic moments like your pottery, um, and um, all the things that I think fans of the film would expect to see in the stage version. But I
Yeah,
also know that a lot of the audiences come who've never seen the film. I
yeah,
know, because they're just too young. It's just not their era.
that's it. Yeah,
Because the film's 35 years old now. Uh, and we get lots of audiences who don't know anything about it, and they come in blind, and then they're actually just really moved by the power of the story and the
yeah.
power of the music as well. And then I meet a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I love the show. I'm gonna go home and,
Don't
and
go
rent
watch
the
the film.
movie and stuff like
Yeah,
that." Yeah.
totally. I mean, there's that whole thing, people going crazy for Swayze. Have we got one for you? Have we figured that out yet? Or can you have
Oh,
like
I don't
don't
know.
lose your hair for St. Clair sort of thing? That
Oh, We should start that.
hashtag don't lose your hair for St. Clair. Get it on a t-shirt.
Print it.
Print it quick.
Merch. Get
New
some
merch for
merch
the final 3 weeks of the Ghost UK tour. Get your get your St. Clair merch now. I think
now,
I
quickly,
think
because
they
it will
should.
sell out.
They will go.
All
They
five of my fans will buy all of them.
once they're gone, they're gone. Your mum will have one, everyone will have one. It'll be great. It'll be great. So do you have a favorite moment in the show?
It changes. It changes. It can completely depend on my mood. It can completely depend on how the show's been going, my energy levels, all of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really does change. I really enjoy doing my scenes with Becky at the beginning because me and Rebecca Lowings, who plays Molly, we have a really nice offstage friendship. So just to carry
Uh,
that onto stage is always so easy. Um, I also really enjoy doing my scenes with Oda May, Jackie Dewa, who plays Oda May Brown. She's fantastic. Like she always brings the energy, and we have like a real yin and yang. And there's quite a journey of that friendship because they really start off not understanding or liking each other, but essentially Sam is blackmailing her into helping him because otherwise he'll just keep singing and she wants him to shut up. But they eventually come to understand each other and care about each other, even though, one of them is not even a living person. So I really like playing that. And then if I'm feeling vocally on form, I like rocking out and singing some of the songs because they're
yeah,
they're pretty epic.
they they are. They're very epic. And the show is Ghost. Ghosts involved. you've been on a UK tour. There's a lot of theaters around the UK that have ghosts. Have you had any ghost stories and ghost experiences while you've been around?
You do hear things, don't you? Like, especially, I feel like Scottish theatres have this thing about ghosts. And we went to Aberdeen, and I feel like I overheard stuff. I personally have never had an experience with an energy that was from a, not this
Yeah,
living world. But I'm definitely open to it. Like, I'm open to being proved wrong.
absolutely.
And I definitely believe in energy as a concept and,
Hmm,
energy not dying and it has to go somewhere. And
that's
I
right.
believe in that, but I've personally not got my own ghost story. No,
No, not yet.
not yet.
There's 3 weeks left, you know?
There's time. There's
It
time. Yeah, it's Woking. I don't know if Woking has a
Okay,
reputation for being
I'm not
haunted.
sure. Did you do Sunderland early in the tour? I think you, was that
Yeah, oh god, yeah, right near the beginning, like
right near
venue
the beginning?
two.
There's a couple there. I've heard a few stories about Sunderland and their ghosts, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure about walking. You'll have to let me know if
I
you
will.
find
I will.
any, you
If I
know,
come across
do
any.
do tell me. I'll have to
We'll do
find that.
another. We'll have to. Yeah, we'll do another Zoom and just
We'll do
like
the reunion
talk
and
about it.
talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll be wearing your t-shirt, your St. Clair t-shirt.
Yeah, I'll get one
Perfect.
made up. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll take my
great,
own merch off and I'll put that on.
great.
Of course I will. Now, live theatre is, as always, amazing. Have you had anything go slightly amiss for you over the tour of Ghost? The eyes.
Oh, how literally, I'm like, where's the list? Where's the list? Um,
Oh,
Pottery wheel breaking and clay
oh.
going all over the stage. Stuff not working, like special effects not working, and when they don't work, it's maybe I don't know how obvious it is to the audience, but to us it's really obvious. And so then we have to there's one bit where I get like lifted up into the air, and sometimes that lift hasn't worked. So I'm just like awkwardly trying to go on my tiptoes. Or there's a bit where I need to move a paper with my hand, but like I'm not touching the paper, but the paper didn't work. So I literally just had to go like um I've said wrong lines
Yeah.
sometimes. In quite essential plot points as well, so that wasn't great. Um, oh yeah, stuff goes wrong all the time, but
That's the
at the
fun
end
of
of the
it.
day, like you said, that's part of the magic of theatre and it being never the same thing twice. And I
Yeah.
also think you can't just don't I just never try to take myself too seriously. If stuff is going wrong around me and I potentially think it's dangerous,
Yeah.
that's a different thing. But stuff going wrong happens
It's all a
all
bit
the
of fun.
time and you deal with it and actually yeah it's makes things spicy and sometimes you could be on a Friday night somewhere being quite exhausted being like oh god I just need to get the energy to muster up to do this show
Yeah.
and then something happens and suddenly you're very alert and you're very present and
Yeah.
suddenly the show flies because this thing woke you up in a way
Yeah.
you know.
And then you're chuckling about it for the rest of the night. And those are the shows you remember, I always think. You know,
Oh
a
yeah.
stuff gone wrong, that's going to be stuck in your mind for the rest of forever. Not the like 100 perfect shows that just went really well. Those ones, the ones where you stayed firmly on the ground. That's the
So
one.
true. So
That's the
true.
one.
Literally, like when my guitar strap breaks and I just have to awkwardly lean on the sofa and just like, yeah,
Yeah.
happens.
That's that's it. Now, if you could summarize the plot, here we go,
Hmm.
as quick as possible,
Yeah.
how would you do that?
It's about a young couple, Molly and Sam, who have moved into an apartment together. It looks like they're going to be together for the rest of their lives. In a tragic accident, Sam is killed on the way home in a mugging. He then realizes that he's not dead, but he's also not alive. He is, in fact, a ghost, and he is stuck in this limbo between the living and the dead.
Hmm.
And then, in a series of events, it transpires that his death was not the accident that he believed it to be. And in fact, Molly now is in danger, and he goes on a mission to try and save Molly's life.
Very good. That was people usually stumble at that one, so I'm quite impressed with that. Well done. You've been preparing that, haven't you?
I'd say it's not my first time.
How many people have asked you to summarize? Yeah,
Many.
many people. But the show is it's almost done. It's nearly there, and you're on your way to walking. But how has touring life been? How have you found it?
it has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
I think I touched on it earlier. I think
Yes, yeah.
the constant change can be quite mentally tiring. So it's all minute things, but they just all add up and stuff that you just don't even think about. So you move into a new place, the bed, the mattress lottery, and as someone who really relies on sleep to do my job well, if I've got a rubbish mattress for the week, I'm gonna be like, okay, cool, rough week incoming. Um, but it's the minute things. So right, where's my nearest shop? Where's my nearest thing that I can buy food? There's
Yeah.
that. I go to the gym, I work out a few times a week. Where is my nearest gym so I can do that? I really love coffee. Where's my nearest coffee place? Cool. What's my journey to the theatre? Oh, last week it was a 5 minute walk. This week it's a 25-minute walk. Okay, so I now need to like make sure that I always leave earlier. Okay, cool. I'm on my dressing room. Oh, this dressing room is it's bigger than last week. Lovely. This is nice. I can spread out. Oh, but it's on like the second floor as opposed to on the stage level. So I now need to remember that I need to go down 2 flights of stairs and it comes down on stage left, not stage right. The stage is actually smaller this week than it was last week. We're not as wide, but we are deeper. Do you know what I mean? Those constant changes, they all add up. And you're doing that week on week on week. And so sometimes you'll literally done nothing and you're all day and you'll be like, why am I so tired?
That's
And it's
why.
because of like that constant change.
Yeah.
Um, and the show in a way is the only thing that kind of stays consistent. Saying the same lines, moving to the same
Yeah.
places, and singing the same songs is kind of the only consistency that you have. And even then, different audiences are different in different areas. So yeah, but I do like tour because I enjoy seeing different parts of the country. I enjoy
Mm.
seeing towns that I never would have thought to go to. And sometimes I'm like, this is lovely. And other times I'm like, I do not need to come back.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I like that and seeing what each city has to offer. And what's quite nice is, I don't plan on necessarily living in London for the rest of my life. So it's
No.
sometimes a good little way of kind of going, can I see myself, here somewhere like maybe
No.
commutable to London? Yeah, literally. Some places I'm like, I don't need to come back.
I don't think so. No, but it's a lovely, lovely thing to tour. Have you been doing things as sort of a group and going and seeing things that are unique to each venue?
I mean, because the part's so big, I'd spend a lot of my time kind of resting and having a bit of me time just
No.
because once I'm at work, it's super intense.
That's it.
But if I know that there's maybe something going on, I'll try and do something, with at least one of my days. At the moment, there's a little group of us who are really into escape rooms.
Ah,
So, see, that's my idea of a good night out. People like on a Saturday, like, let's
yeah.
go out. And I'm like,
No,
no, bye
let's
bye.
go.
Whereas if someone goes, do you want to do an escape room? I'm like,
Yeah.
now that's a valuable use of my time and money. So there's like a group of us who in each city we're finding like the escape room
That is so good.
place, and doing them, which has been quite fun.
So much better than going out. Try
I,
and
I
lock yourself in a
I
room.
agree. That's past for me. I'm too old to do that. I can I it happens once in a blue moon. Okay, we were just in Birmingham and we went out to Albert Schloss because there was a live band and
Oh,
I knew someone who could organize us like a nice area. So like stuff like that, cool, I'm in. But to go out and just get the idea of going out and getting drunk and having to do the show the next day,
oh, oh.
well, it's just not worth the stress because it I found like through life and working, like alcohol doesn't have the best effect on my singing voice. So some people can literally drink all night, wake up and be like, oh, I'm just not one of those people. So it's not worth the anxiety it would give me to wake up and
No.
question whether I could sing the show or not. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's not. But they keep doing them escape rooms. That sounds better, you know?
That's a good,
When
yeah,
where's
my
the
idea of a
musical
good
theater
time.
themed escape rooms would be good. You know, like a Phantom of
Oh
the
my God,
Opera
can you
escape
imagine
room.
like a stagey escape room? You had to like unlock the padlock to the curtains or
Yeah. Yeah, that would be it. That we need
yeah,
to coin that again. We've got the merch and now the stagey. Yeah,
we do.
we've got it.
Trademark.
Trademark quickly before someone else does. But no, the show comes to walking. Starts on Tuesday the 15th, runs through to the Saturday. Got that memorized. Go me. But yeah, it's gonna be great. It's a lovely venue and it's close to London as well, which is
Yeah, it's the last time that we are close to London, so I've kind of reached out to all my London friends who haven't seen it yet and just kind of said, "This is your last chance."
absolutely.
Um, because yeah, and then we're in Swindon, which is nowhere near, and then we finish in Hull. Um,
Yeah.
I have a habit of finishing tours in Hull. I finished Kinky Boots in Hull as well, but it was also in the depths of winter, so I didn't really see any of it because the daylight was from like 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Whereas we're kind of in longer days now, so I might check out
Just see a bit of
a
Hull.
bit
Yeah.
more of what Hull has to offer. Hopefully, some decent
Hopefully
coffee and a
something.
nice.
Yeah.
I remember the aquarium. I remember there was an aquarium that's really good, like a really good.
That would be good.
Um, what it's called I think it's called the Deep. So maybe I'll check that out again, and I'm sure I will find ways to entertain myself.
Absolutely. That
An
sounds like
escape
loads of fun.
room,
An escape room, an aquarium escape room.
maybe
Look, these things they could happen.
we could.
But are you looking forward to coming to walking?
I've never played it, so yeah, I always enjoy coming to theaters that I've not done before and like experiencing what the audiences are like. I do remember I've seen a fair few things there though.
Mm.
Just mates again, when I'm in London, I've got mates who's touring and Woking. I'll be like, oh, I can make that. I'll go there.
Yeah.
Um, I just remember I just find it quite baffling that the theatre's like in a shopping centre.
I still find that baffling as well. I was like,
Okay, cool. At least I'm not the only one. I just remember being like, hang on, my maps is telling me to go in this shopping. What? Okay, and then
yeah,
suddenly you're like, oh, here it
okay.
is.
I mean, that's a way into a theater that I've never experienced before, and I don't think I'll ever experience again. But it was very nice. But it's a lovely venue. You'll have a great time, no doubt. And you can get tickets. I'll link tickets under there. I'll also find the links for Swindon and Hull as well if you fancy going to see it there too. One last thing to ask you, which is a bit of the chance to sell the show. Not that it needs it. Why should
Okay.
people come and see Ghost?
People should come and see Ghost because it's a great love story. And I think in our life, we will all experience the feeling of losing someone if we've not already done so. That's something that kind of connects us all. Um, and I think Ghost beautifully tells, um, beautifully portrays like what that process is and the lengths that we will go to protect loved ones. And I think to see that played out on stage is beautiful and thrilling. And there's also, not speaking necessarily of myself, there's also some killer vocals in the show. So if you like big singing, big musical theatre singing, then it's also very entertaining for that. But mainly because it's a timeless love story, and everyone loves a good love story.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that's it. Go and get your tickets if you want them. The links will be down in the description. But aside from that, I just want to thank you for joining me today, Josh. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been good fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all of those great things because they allow me to keep bringing stuff like this to the web. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.